Welcome back, everybody, to an installment of Tech TLDR. Today, we have exciting news surrounding SpaceX, the recent Dragon crew launch. We're also going to be talking Starship SN15 and Boca Chica news, NASA news. So if you want to know everything, be sure you stick to the whole episode. Drop a like, as always. It helps out the channel, and consider subscribing if you're not already. Let's get into this. So first, right here, we have to talk about NASA's Perseverance rover and the Ingenuity and what they're working on the Red Planet. Well, the past couple of days, they've both been making the engineers at NASA pretty proud, as Perseverance successfully, for the first time, turned CO2 into oxygen. Something that, if we as a species are to ever live on Mars, without oxygen supply, this is going to be crucial. Now, don't get me wrong, there's other reasons we can't live there, like, lack of atmosphere. There's, no food growing. There's no Dunkin' Donuts. I can't be the only one that would struggle without these things. But this is a huge start. It's a huge first step in the direction that we need to go in the long term. And Ingenuity, as we can see here. Ingenuity finally took its second flight after its first flight just earlier in the week. And now, hopefully, in the near future, we can hope to see aerial views of Mars as this goes higher and higher. The first flight was a 10-foot flight. This was a 16-foot flight. So it's getting there. 60% increase right now. Maybe in a few weeks, few months, we can see a really good panorama of the Mars crest. Now some SpaceX news. Mary, Boca Chica gal, tweeted this road closure for possible static fires that would be happening today. However, there are no such tests. SpaceX's Starship SN15, it is still yet to do a static fire test, but there seems to be good reason why. So we can go on their closures website and we can see here that there were closures, and there was one obviously yesterday we talked about, and there was one today. Now, why didn't ever testing happen? What was the purpose of these closures? Well, if you remember, and what I had talked about previously, that isn't the only thing that they're doing right now down on the Boca Chica area. So Mary also tweeted this photo of the nose cone, the test nose cone, arriving at the launch site, which they had to transport, which they had to close the road down. They also had to close for other transportation things like the GSE tank, the ground support equipment tank, cranes that were used to transport things. So it's not like they're doing nothing down there. And, I don't think this is a system problem with the SN15, at least as far as SpaceX is letting us know. But if you have any other ideas as to why they're not doing a static fire, I'd love to hear it. I think it's just to get other things ready right now, transportation of larger equipment. And the big story of the day, SpaceX successfully launches its Falcon 9 and the Dragon crew with the 4 astronauts into space at around 5:40 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And shortly after they were able to launch this, the Dragon crew and the booster successfully detached from one another, and the booster finally did make its successful landing down on the I Love You drone ship. Of course, I Love You drone ship. The 80th landing of an orbital class rocket booster, SpaceX's 80th landing. Now, this is really big news from SpaceX, the 80th launch and landing of a booster, and Elon Musk did go on to talk about this actually at a press conference with NASA. Elon Musk, he talked briefly about how Falcon 9 boosters, they're going to be continuing to be reused until they can see longevity failure problems within their systems. And don't worry, it's not like they're going to use a booster on its 15th launch that's held together with like tape and rope to put humans on into space. That's not the purpose of this. Those boosters will likely be used for like Starlink missions. And because of that, since if there is a failure, nobody would be getting hurt and a payload from another company wouldn't be getting damaged, SpaceX would be taking all of the risk and, of course, all the reward if the Starlink does go up successfully. But at the same time, they'll be getting a lot of data back on their Falcon 9s and how far can they push these things? How many launches and landings can they realistically expect to get out of this? And what can they do to expand the lifespan of those boosters? Anyways, that wraps up today's video, guys. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already. Like the video if you enjoyed it. And as always, have a good one.